see you there. Oh, well, you know, would you like to hear a story? Yes, you would like to hear a story? Okay then. So there once upon a time, there was a selfish giant. And so the selfish giant had a very big castle and a very big garden. And so he didn't want anyone to be in his garden, but he went on a trip to meet his cousin Eldest. And so while he was at his cousin Eldest, these children who wanted to play in his garden went and played in his garden. And when he came home, he was very sad and he was selfish, and he made a wall around his garden. And I can't continue in a Scottish accent, but I'll change to Canadian. So this selfish giant built a wall around his house and around his castle, and it became winter. And the kids were sad because they couldn't play in the garden no more. And so what they did was they went back, and I'm just changing accents just to let you know. So as this was happening, it began to become spring, but the garden didn't change, and it just continued. It just continued to be rainy and wet and snowbound, and the shingles were blown off the roof by the wind. And outside it was very warm and sunny, but on the inside it was not. And so one day the giant woke up, and he smelled something sweet in the air. He looked out his window, and there was one of the little children in his tree. And the tree was blooming, but around the tree, it was still winter. And so, all the children had come into his garden, and all of the trees in his garden had become beautiful, and everything had left except one tree. And so the giant hurried and got up, and he went outside to say hello, because he was sad and lonely, because he hadn't seen anyone since when he kicked out the kids from his garden. And so, when there was one tree that wasn't sunny, and it was one of the littlest of the children, and the child couldn't get into the tree, and no one else was helping him. So the giant helped the little boy into the tree, and the boy thanked him very much. And so he went on, and his garden was beautiful, and he enjoyed the company of the children. And so all of the children stayed. And one day, the little boy didn't come back. And he didn't come back the next day, or the next day, or the next. And so, what happened? For the next 5 years is he let kids into his garden to play. But he never saw his favorite child, the little boy. One day, that little child came back, but he was a grown man. And he came back and he thanked the giant by saying, "Thank you, old giant. You let me back into your garden to play. But see, by your kindness shown, he showed the giant the scars in his wrists and the scar in his side where he was stabbed with a spear. And that child had shown kindness because of that giant. And so the giant was very happy that he could help that child and whoever that child helped. So remember, when you don't feel good and you just want to block people out, just let them in and they can cheer you up. Now that was story time with Stephen. That was... Oh, you're still filming. Turn off the camera, Becky. I'm done.